The Supreme Court heard oral arguments in a case that will determine the future of the nation's only religious charter school. In this video, we'll explain how the court's decision could impact laws that govern charter schools around the country. In 2023, the Oklahoma State Charter School Board granted St. Isidore of Sevilla Catholic Virtual School a contract. The state's Attorney General asked the Oklahoma Supreme Court to nullify the contract, and it did. The court ruled the school is a government entity and that the state would be funding a Catholic curriculum. Now, the Supreme Court will decide if St. Isidore is truly a public school or if it's a private school with public funding. If it is a public school, its Catholic curriculum is unconstitutional. Attorneys for the school said it's not representing the government and it's not a state actor. It's a private school and everyone who goes there chooses to be there.
There's no state creation here because St. Isidore was established by two private Catholic organizations and they applied to participate in a program. They built their own charter school program, they came up with their own startup funding, and they asked to be a part. Nor is there government control here because St. Isidore is operated by a privately selected board.
Attorneys representing Oklahoma's Attorney General say all charter schools are public schools by default because they get public funding.
They're free, open to all, funded by taxpayers, controlled by the state with respect to their curriculum.
Conservative justices appear ready to rule in favor of St. Isidore.
And when you have a program that's open to all comers except religion, no, we can't do that. We can do everything else. That seems like rank discrimination against religion.
Liberal justices were more critical of the school. Here's how Justice Sonia Sotomayor reacted when an attorney said there is historical precedent for the government funding religious-affiliated institutions.
Using history in this case is so crazy. We don't use the history of segregation to interpret the Equal Protection Clause now. I doubt very much we would use that history of the federal government funding the churches to teach Indian children and convert them as proving anything about the free exercise or Establishment Clause now.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett recused herself, so it's possible for this case to end in a 4-4 tie. If that happens, St. Isidore would lose because the Oklahoma Supreme Court's case nullifying its contract would stand. I'm Ray Bogan for Straight Arrow News. For more reporting, download the SAN app.